reach people and do it in an easy way that wasn't too daunting, because social media can be a little bit scary. And I think that we have to approach it as like it's easy and fun because of what we're trying to do. Really, we're trying to make friends. And I think that when you think of it that way, it's not as big a deal, right? And the big thing is just to get started if you're not already on social media. What your platform of choice is. Today, I'm going to talk about a little bit about Facebook, just because for my age group, that's kind of where most of the people are still, except for those who have sworn it off. But the overall strategy is we're trying to make friends, give them value, help them improve their health and life, right? And so this is it. If you take that approach, you're always going to be on the winning team, right? And the basic idea is we want to find people that we would like to be friends with. We add them to our group or make a friend request. And then we develop a relationship and message them. So that's kind of the basic idea. Find, add, message. Say it with me. Find, add, message. Okay, I know you're all saying that on your own. So it's not difficult, and it doesn't have to be weird either. So the basic principles of this is not about outcomes, right? Just like everything that we do, it's about activity. It's about doing the thing. So if you're trying to develop the social media habit, it's really most important that you just do a tiny bit. And I'll talk about how you might be able to get a little bit of a social media habit in a really easy way if you want. But just remember, when you're getting going, there's no judgments. We just want to start, right? Start a little bit. So it's about activity, not outcomes. And if you do the activity, say it with me, the outcomes will follow, right? You know it's true. If you tell people about tell people about the business, tell people about the opportunity, tell people about what you're doing, the outcomes will definitely follow, okay? I can't hardly see my slide there. So basic principle number 2, don't overthink it, okay? Some people will, well, be there with my phone, I'm like, what do I post, right? One easy way to just start to post is to say, okay, sometime today when I see something interesting, I'm going to post about it, right? So that's one way that you can just start to do the simple act of posting, right? Basic principle number 2, easy is faster. Oh gosh, and faster is better, okay? One thing I'm going to give you is the way to learn how to do something called keystroke shortcuts in the handout. And the keystroke shortcuts are awesome because you can, like, on your phone, whether whatever kind of phone you have, you can type in like TM1, and then a whole message will pop up, and it's super slick. It's fast, and if it's easy, you're going to go faster. And faster is just generally better because it means you can reach out to more people, okay? So we want to make it easy, and keystroke shortcuts can make that happen for you. I'm sorry, this slide's a little bit funky. Okay, this is important if you're prospecting in Facebook groups, you're trying to make friends in Facebook groups. Do not prospect in groups you love and you don't want to be accidentally kicked out of, okay? So that's really important because most Facebook groups have a rule about, no prospecting people. And so that's right. It's really more about, if you're in a group, you certainly don't want to get kicked out. So you got to be careful. And in those other groups, you're going to try and make relationships, and relationships that gradually bring you to sharing authentically with people, okay? My slides. So in network marketing, relationship marketing, I'm sorry this is covered up, but it's a numbers game. It really is based on the number of people and the amount of heart. The number of people you talk to and the amount of heart you bring. And so on our social media, we want to show our heart. We want to give people love. And remember that the number of people you talk to is going to determine the number of people join you. All right. So it's just good to keep these principles in mind. And the last principle, I know you're not going to be able to read it all. It doesn't have to be a friend. The people that you share with on social media, They may not be your a friend that you already know. And in fact, sometimes it's better because sometimes when we share with friends and they go, oh, is that, pyramid scheme or something like that, and they give us rejection, it can hurt. And it removes that little emotional of the rejection when you don't really know the person personally. So I'm sorry about my slides being covering the words, but I think that it's important. We don't want to prejudge people, and you never know who's going to really need what we have to offer. Well, we know that everybody needs it. It's a question of who is open to it. And you don't have to know them, right? We're trying to make friends. Take strangers, turn them into friends, friends, turn them into family. All right. I love you, Fraser Brooks, because that's what he says. And so let me talk about Fraser Brooks guidelines. I talked about these the other day. Everybody put your hand up. So this, and everybody, let's start with the thumbs up. Okay. So social media guidelines, a la Fraser Brooks. I would totally promote that guy. You guys, he's got great content. He's so happy to. And the first thing is thumbs up, be positive on social media. We really want to avoid doing things like complaining, even if something is not so great. If you're trying to grow your business on social media, being seen as a complainer is not a great idea. Also, we really want to give people love and positive comments, because if you give the love, you're going to get the love back. Okay, so that's thumbs up. And you can remember this by using your hand. Here's your pointer, the first finger, pointer finger. You want to have direction. Okay. So remember that big phrase I'm sure you have all heard of. I help blank to blank. All right. This is how you get a sense of who you're helping. Some people are going to do better with people who are in a similar business as they used to be in, right? So I help accountants to be able to focus more on their work and be more efficient, through, stem cells. Or so who is it that you help and how do you help them, right? It's if you're more specific, the people will find you. Okay, we want to know what's the point. What are we trying to do? LifeWave is really trying to change the world. We're trying to make the world younger and make the world cleaner. And when you look at your posts, do they reflect your values? Okay, so understanding, one of my values is fun, right? And so fun, healthy living, reverse aging, family. Those are my 4 big values. So when I post stuff online, I'm trying to make sure that it's in line with my values. Okay, so and so the middle finger. Okay, I'm not going to show you my middle finger, but that middle finger makes us think of the fact that you're going to have people who aren't going to be all rah-rah about what you're doing, and that is okay. All right. Those are people that it's not necessary to pay a lot of attention to. So a good attitude towards the haters, ignore them or love on them. When somebody on my YouTube channel comes and gives like this is a scam comment, I will use feel, felt, found. So this, or actually felt, feel. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, when I first came across this, I worried about that too. And this is what I've found, right? So you can take a negative comment and turn it into positive for you. And that's, I think, one of the most powerful ways, always being nice, or just remove the comment. That's also, great. If we think of, on a summer night, all the crickets making that sound, all the crickets are talking together out in the forest, and you can hear pretty loud when you first step out into the night. But if you go and take one little cricket and pick him up, he's not going to make any noise. So sometimes giving that one little hater some love, or giving them some information, it might turn them into a raving fan. You never know. So think of the crickets. Okay, so now next is our ring finger, right? I got my wedding ring on my finger, and this is representing loyalty and commitment. Commitment to relationship marketing in the company because it's awesome, right? And understanding that we can trust this process activity, and that if you keep doing the activity, it's going to work 100%. I guarantee you, if every day you begin to do these things, share with 3, right? Share with 3 new people, follow up with 3, and invite 1 person to a presentation, it is a sure thing over time that it will work. It's just you can't tell how much time it's going to take. So you got to trust and be committed that it's going to work. Okay. And then the pinky finger, imagine it with a little string tied around on it, about getting the details. That a string around your finger helps you to remember. And we want to get details and ask detailed questions when we're engaging. So let's say, for instance, I'm making a friend and I send them a message. I'm trying to learn about what they like, what they're interested in, right? Because we really want to connect on a level that's important to them. What are their needs? Are they health needs? Is it financial? Understand, do they love what they're doing? How can you help them? And if you follow this sequence of creating content, creating those connections with folks, and having conversations, it will ultimately definitely lead to getting commissions, right? And this is something you don't have to spend hours a day. You can spend a little bit of time. So let's talk about how you could spend just a little bit of time. And I've mentioned this before. This is my Glam. Ooh, okay. And this is giving value, giving love, authenticity, and motivation. So the 4 things that, if there's a way you could start to structure posts and thinking about these things, what is value? It might be 3 top tips. And a simple way to find top tips is to Google 3 top tips for blah. And you can come up with all kinds of potential content. We always want to keep, if you're doing videos, keep them pretty short. If you keep them short, it's more likely someone watched to the end. And when somebody watches all the way to an end of a live or something like that, it's more likely Facebook will send it out more. So, a quick how-to, shortcuts, something you do that would help people, right? So we give value, and it may be around the patches. And then the next thing is the whole idea of loving on your new friends, trying to create those connections. When you comment, you want to use at least 5 words. At least this is what I've heard. Okay. And 3 emojis are good, right? So fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. For some reason, that will help people see it a little bit better. And when you start to comment on somebody's Facebook page, they are going to see that in their feed if they're active. Okay. So they're going to start to say, who's that person that's commenting and saying nice things on my page, right? So make sure that as you are thinking about reaching out to new friends, one thing you might consider is following folks who are in your niche, who look fun, for a few weeks regularly, so your name keeps popping up into their feed. And they'll be like, who is this person that's commenting, right? And if they're active on social media, they're seeing that. And then after a few weeks, you can go, hey, I've been following you for a few weeks, and I think you're awesome. And connect with them in that way. And then you begin that conversation. And they already have checked out your profile. And so that's why just starting to do a little bit of regular posting. Maybe it's just the authenticity. Maybe it's just a picture of you once a day doing something fun, right? It can start like that. But then they'll look at your profile, because that's what people do. When they see your face popping up in their feed, they go, who's that coming up in my feed? And what do they like? What are they into, right? And then you're going to be able to open a conversation with them. So with the authenticity, that's like, what are you doing? What's beautiful? What's fun? What's your family doing? And I think that it creates a certain level of vulnerability that people like. People like when you're real, right? When you're whatever is authentic to you, right? So I'm pretty silly. Okay, it's true. Me and my husband, we're goobers. And we readily show that. And I'm just starting to try and be more real, because you guys, the time is now to move your business forward, to get a little vulnerable, to step out of our comfort zone so you can help. Because everybody I know on this Zoom call is here to help people. That's why you go into LifeWave. At first, you're helping yourself or a family member, because you're like, I want to feel better. And then you see you could change so many lives if you can reach them. The last thing of the Glam is motivation. You can repurpose other inspirational quotes. You just search on Google. And if you want to put it on a nice background, Canva is a very good tool for this. I think Canva has a free membership that doesn't cost anything for you to create a square Instagram post. It is so super easy. And all you have to do, and I'll train on that. Maybe next week I'll just do how to create a fast motivational quote. So motivation helps as people are looking at you and deciding if they want to engage. When they see you being positive, giving love, giving value, and motivation, it's more likely that they're going to want to engage. It's also more likely that they might want to engage as part of your team, right? So we are all creating a customer base, that wonderful preferred customer program. And at some point, somebody's loving it so much, and they're like, wow, would I really want to join this person's team? And if you have these kind of posts and they go to your profile and they get inspired, it's much more likely that they're going to be like, yes, let's do this thing. So how do we develop a new habit? Okay, this is also Fraser Brooks, the toilet technique. I love that toilet, right? So beautiful. Anytime we're doing a new habit, we want to break it down to the smallest bite-sized chunk and make it very easy to do. You want to link it to a trigger, okay? And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. And then you want to get rewarded, all right? So we're going to talk about the toilet technique and social media. Okay, let's say what we want to do is just start to do the simple thing of giving people love on social media, okay? So the smallest bite-sized chunk of that is going to Facebook and finding a post and putting some heart emojis. Super simple, right? You all can do that. Say, I can do that. I can do that, right? So what you're gonna do is when you go to the bathroom, which usually is a few times a day, you take your phone. So it's the trigger we're going to link it to is going to the bathroom. Okay, you sit on the toilet. You're going to find a post and put a few heart emojis. Okay. And then somewhere in your bathroom, why don't you put a piece of paper and with a pen so you can put a hashtag, a hash mark to say, I did it, right? And you're going to start to make a winning streak. You are winning just by sitting on the toilet and sending out some hearts. Or maybe you're doing the 5-word comment with 3 emojis, right? And it can be just a single one, a single comment. And because right now, all we're trying to do is get the habit. This is something that you can easily grow. But if you start off with the toilet technique, you may find that you even want to look on a friend's page and repost something that they've posted that's inspirational, and then put a little bit of a message to it to inspire people, right? So this is really mostly to get you used to social media and say, hey, it's easy. Now, you don't have to link it to going to the bathroom. You could link it to brushing your teeth. I'm going to brush my teeth, and then I'm going to send somebody some love, or having your coffee in the morning, which is usually what I do with my coffee. So that is, in terms of developing a new habit, you just want to make it easy, unavoidable, link it to a trigger, and then keep score so you can have your winning streak, okay? That'll give you dopamine surge, which is good, right? Just like that dream. Okay. So that is basically what I have, and I have a handout. Let me grab that. I'm going to stop my share. And any questions? I'm going to give you a link to that in a doc. Okay. Any questions, thoughts, comments, tips you guys want to share that you've learned?
I think that was great information. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you liked it.
Very helpful, Dr. Goggin. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to put in the chat. I'll put the link to the doc where you can get the outline of the points and things. And so next week, I will go over how to easily make a little Instagram Canva post. And I'm also going to go over a social media content calendar so you can plan out, and I'm going to give you one that's already pre-populated. So that's for next week. Telegram. Yes, I'm going to send that to Telegram too. This is okay. All right, so I just posted that in the LifeWave chat. I mean, the Telegram.
Thank
chat.
you so much, Dr. Linda.
Well, you're welcome. I
That was
hope
wonderful. I love your presentations. You're such a good teacher and speaker.
that's nice. That's very sweet of you. I was like, just wasn't sure. And if you guys have things that you'd like to learn, please shoot me a message or email clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com. I'm happy to try and create it for you guys. There's so much to say. Yeah, one doesn't want to overwhelm, right? So what we could do is we could just start like with a simple homework. And so the simple homework would just be to try the toilet technique this week, or, link it to whatever trigger you want. Just try to start getting on there if you're not already on social media.
Awesome. That should be fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, hope everybody has an awesome day. And everyone has that link all to the nice things to post are the testimonies onto your site, to put links to those testimonies. People like those. So.
Perfect. Thanks so much for sharing that. Very helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm going to be doing the Power Hour right now for anybody who'd like to join. I'll put that link right now into the chat. Also, that's where we get on and just do parallel play, and we're all doing our own work, and we're available to try and help each other, or if we need something like, three-way call or just general advice, there's the address for that. And for those of you who don't know or haven't used Teamsy, we usually use Teamsy. And Teamsy has a new thing where you can just sync your Facebook contacts. You don't have to do all the downloading. It's just very nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be subscribing to that myself.
Very good. I'm going to put my email. Okay, well, I think we can, if we wanted to stop streaming.
Okay.